handling the explanations.
Be there.
Most of us treat chrysanthemums like annuals, but they really can be a perennial bloom. We will tell you how on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report.
Medicare rules are confusing. They should be. There are over 130,000 pages of regulations. There's Part A through D, Medicare Advantage, and Medigap. According to the CMS, there are government programs available that can help you pay for your medical expenses. Choosing the right Medicare plan is a really big deal. The wrong choice can cost you a lot of money, and the right choice can put more money in your pocket. Call one of our licensed representatives today. At 65 Plus Medicare, our free service can show you a plan that will maximize your Medicare benefits, ensure you are taking advantage of all available government assistance programs, and save you money. Call now.
800-343-4379. 800-343-4379. 800-343-4379. That's 800-343-4379.
Double benefits listed may be available on all plans or in a single benefit package. Enrollment in the prescribed plan type may be limited to certain times of the year unless you qualify for a special enrollment period. No obligation to enroll.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, August 26th, the 239th day of the year. Actor Chris Pine has a birthday, and the first Ford Edsel rolled off the assembly line on this day in 1957. Garden centers are overflowing with chrysanthemums right now, and we can't blame you for adding the rich colors to your fall garden. But the ideal time to plant mums is in the spring. They're a hardy perennial with a good chance of surviving the winter if they've had the summer to establish a strong root system. Here's how to overwinter your potted mums. After the first frost, bring them indoors to a cool, dark room. Leave the foliage on and keep the roots constantly damp. In the spring, gradually acclimate them to the light and transplant after the last frost. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more gardening tips online at almanac.com.
Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker on Tuesday referenced a wedding in Rhode Island attended by a number of Massachusetts residents where all but one person tested positive for COVID-19. But Rhode Island officials say it wasn't a wedding. It was actually a bachelorette party. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health says 19 cases were traced to that event at a rented house in Lake. Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is Wednesday. It's August 26th. We're running out of August very quickly. This is Joe Callahan. Tim Draper's here from Navigant Credit Union. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, everyone.
Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Paul Willett is here from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Paul.
Good morning.
Now, don't get too sad.
Uh-oh.
It's Paul's last Wednesday.
What?
Yes.
Must mean the summer's over.
You know, we could switch Tim to Fridays.
Oh, we could do that.
Hey, wait a minute. How come Tim gets the switch?
Joining us on the phone is Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities. Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
We're all doing well. Thank you very much.
Morning, Melissa.
So, Melissa, it's time for your first message from the St. Antoine Communities.
Yeah, so St. Antoine Community is located in North Smithfield at the corner of 400 Mendon and 10 Rhodes Ave. On our property, we have 2 buildings. We offer 4 levels of care, assisted living, rehabilitative services, cared memory care unit, and long-term skilled nursing support. In our first building on the property, which is the Villa at St. Antoine, it's our 76-apartment assisted living facility. We offer traditional assisted living apartments in 3 different styles, studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom, as well as an 8-resident memory care unit. In our second building on the property, it's our St. Antoine residence. That's our 260-bed skilled long-term and short-term care rehabilitative facility. Inside that facility, we showcase our state-of-the-art Easy Street Rehab Center, as well as our secured memory care unit and our private hospice suite. For those of you that have never been up to our property, I encourage you to take a drive up. It's beautiful. We're on a rolling 50 acres of property with a nice wooded line behind us. And unfortunately, given the climate that we're in with COVID, it's a little bit challenging to offer you tours. But if you reach out to me, I'd be happy to send you a link. We have some virtual tours able to share with you so you can get a glimpse onto the inside of our facilities. Just reach out to 767-3500, or you can email me at msmith@stantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. And it was Natalie last week that was telling us that, Melissa, you were the jack of all trades at the golf tournament.
Running around
like
crazy. She cloned herself because
you were following Paul.
It's like she was on every hole.
It did feel a little creepy that every time I took a loop around, I kept landing on the hole where the chamber group was. I promise I wasn't stalking you.
Oh, yeah, you kept saying that, but we know.
Yeah.
It's such a photogenic group, I'll tell you.
Oh, God.
How long did it take you?
It's funny that Natalie said that, actually. I think maybe I even saw her for all of 30 minutes that day.
Yeah. And registration, that was it.
Yeah.
That was about it. But, yeah, the day was awesome. I think it was as good as we could make it, given everything that we had to modify. It wasn't as grand as our normal outings, but I think next year we'll just have to double our celebration and just kick it out of the park. So.
Was it as successful as you wanted it to be or thought it could be?
You know, I think we had extremely low expectations. In fact, the committee, when we were talking about planning it this year, we really said we're not even looking, we're just looking to break even. You know, we had no expectations to raise dollars. It was more of a give back.
Yep.
Those that have been supporters for so many years. And I think that the fact that we even walked away with some dollars in our pocket to support some of the programs that we're working on was just amazing. So, again, setting the bar super low, not knowing what the turnout would be, and we even capped it. So we had a lot of people interested in playing, but we capped the number just to keep the numbers low and contained because we didn't know at any point if the governor was going to switch gears, and obviously change what the capacity could be at outings.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to be very, reserved and modest in our approach with the planning, and it worked out for the best. So we don't have a final number yet, but I would have to say we probably raised close to $20,000. You know, our normal dollars are more in the neighborhood of 50 to 60. So it is what it is, but, I mean, to walk away more than anything with some memories and to reconnect with old friends, I consider that a huge success.
Good.
And you did a great job.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, under the conditions, I think not only you as one of the organizers, but I think in general people have low expectations of what the event's going to be like. But I got to tell you, I was blown away when I got home and opened up that to-go dinner.
Yeah, that was
to find a lobster tail in there and the colossal shrimp and the fillet. I mean, great job. It was unfortunately I had to share half of mine with my wife. But,
I gave my fillet to my son. Don't worry about it. I know.
I did too. I had to share mine with my husband.
But it was, kudos to all of you. Everybody, the volunteers on the course were very friendly. Everybody did a great job under the conditions.
Yep.
So.
Thank you. And I did reach out to your office, Paul, actually, yesterday. I talked to Pat for a few minutes because we're going to be contributing a raffle basket for your event, and it seems like you guys are going to have the same success. I mean, Kirkbrae Country Club just knows how to do it, and it does take a lot of planning on our ends as the organization, that it's in honor of, but Kirkbrae just is a well-oiled machine, and they just really help you put it all together. So you guys are going to have, I'm sure, just as successful of a day as us.
Yes,
that's perfect.
And thank you for that donation. I did see a communication. I was working remotely yesterday, but I did see that from Pat. So thank you very much. And it's after doing this for a long time, it kind of goes like clockwork. It kind of runs itself. But when you get a wrench thrown at you, like we all are this year.
For COVID.
It's something that you don't know what's going to happen, but you're right. Kirkbrae does a wonderful job, and they refine as they go along. Things change as the the new guidelines change. So I think they did a great job as well.
For sure.
I have to agree.
All right. So moving on to other things, I bring this up. It's not very local, but it is a New England kind of story. I don't know if you heard about it, but there's been a soldier from Brockton, Massachusetts, down at Fort Hood in Texas that's been missing for a week. Yeah. They found his body today, or earlier today, 25 miles from the fort. And they've had a lot of issues with people from Fort Hood,
Fort Hood,
of soldiers dying under mysterious circumstances.
Didn't they have the shooting there a couple of years back?
Yes,
They did.
someone was on
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
the fort. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to bring that up, that soldier from Brockton was found, but his body was found. More on that as it becomes available, as they say.
Prayer for the family.
Yes, and Hurricane Laura is now Category 3. They expected to go to Category 4.
Yeah.
And this is going to be catastrophic.
Yeah, there's
gonna
500
be
people
big.
are under mandatory evacuation.
Is that
500,000?
Texas or Louisiana?
In Texas.
In Texas, okay.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the border of Louisiana as well, but it's they said don't go by the category either because
no.
it's just if it gets downgraded, it's still going to be
Still
a
a
powerful
hurricane.
storm.
Yeah.
And they're saying the surge could be as high as a basketball hoop. So
That's 10 feet.
yeah.
It's amazing when you think of how warm the water is in the Gulf. It's like 86 degrees.
Well, it's been a hot summer.
That's crazy.
In that,
I mean, we're up here in New England where the water is like
60.
Or Maine, it's even worse.
but the warm water contributes.
Yeah,
to
contributes.
that.
That's why
Yeah.
it just intensifies really quick.
And that's why I always don't like when they. I understand they got to categorize the storms, but people psychologically go,
Oh, it's only a one.
It's only
Yeah.
one.
It's
or
only
two.
a one, yeah, that's right, it's
But it
fine.
used to be 4, So now
Yeah.
this is nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's a
The
hurricane.
last
Yeah,
tropical
no.
storm that came through here knocked power out for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's
So-
like, okay, it was a tropical storm.
That's what they don't pay attention to the category.
Yeah.
It's
a hurricane.
whether it's
It's a hurricane.
Yeah, whether it's a 2 or 3 or 4 or 1, it's still you're going to get some damage.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on down there in the Gulf.
Yep.
So I wanted to bring this up because it's. I have brought it up before. I know they're having their issues on Block Island.
Yeah.
And it's sad the issues that they're having. People are crashing. I think people are drinking more than
Yeah.
what they were normally doing, and they're having so many issues that we had to bring in the state police, and they're handing out citations like crazy.
Yep.
But they're still
Another
having
deadly crash
issues.
yesterday,
But what I don't understand is the Block Island Town Council. They're attacking the moped rental companies.
Yeah, I know.
And like it's their fault. So if you can, I guess they capped it with each company. You could only rent 35.
Yep.
They've lowered that.
Yeah, 25.
24 actually.
And then
It's
didn't
down
they
to 24.
increase the age?
No, I didn't.
rent?
I didn't hear that.
I thought that was something that they were looking at.
But
to
they also-
increase
they-
it.
To bring it back now at 5 instead of 8, right?
No, it was bring it back at like 3 instead of 5.
No, I thought it was-
Because I
thought it was-
don't think there are headlights on these mopeds.
No, there's not, but it's still light out at that. I'm
I
going
guess
to look it
could
up,
be.
Joe.
Well, look it up because I thought it was they were balking at the. Maybe they were balking at the 5 o'clock return. 'cause
I think it
thought
was they used to
earlier.
they used to be able to bring them back at 8,
Okay.
and then they went to 5, and
And now you got to wear if you've rented the moped, you have to wear a wristband. I'm not quite sure what that does.
Is it like a kill wristband? Like it kills it, or is it what kind
No,
of?
it just acknowledges you that you are the driver of a moped.
it says that you've been trained. I think they have to now. They're like instructing you on how to do it.
But
and
then
you're
they,
the one that's
but
been
then
instructed.
didn't they always do that?
I think so. It's been a long time
Anyway,
since I rented a moped.
I know it's been a long time for me.
Yeah,
And they said,
here's the throttle, here's
here's the brake.
Turn.
Here are the turn signals.
Yeah.
You got to wear a helmet, but that's been in place for a long time. Now they say you got to wear shoes. I always
But why
thought
would you
that-
not wear shoes on a moped? Oh,
I don't-
like flip flops though.
I guess so. Maybe it's going to be closed-toe shoes.
I'm wondering if they will go as far as to, and it's not to say that everybody who gets into a crash is under the influence of something, but wondering if they would do go as far as to do a breathalyzer because
Before
I
you rent it?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably like 8 or 10 in the morning, so you probably haven't started yet.
Yeah, but
maybe
you're
you
on,
have.
you're on vacation.
You're on Block Island. You started at 7 in the morning.
Haven't you ever heard of the Bloody Mary Block Island special?
No, I have. Okay, but I'm thinking, I forget about the people that are staying there. I'm looking at the people that are coming over on the ferry. And so they're getting there at about 10 in the morning, and then they're renting mopeds. I guess people that are staying at some of the hotels. Have you found anything yet, Tim?
Yeah, unhappy with the new rental return of 5 p.m.
Okay, so
the
you
new
were
rental
bringing-
return is 5.
5, okay.
Must have been a later return, 7 or 8, I think is what it was.
So they want to bring. Although why? Because don't you just rent them? Don't they just rent them for the day?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
I'm not sure
what
what
do
the
you-
time I don't know why the time thing is there. I can
Well,
understand.
more activity, people going out at night and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, go ahead, Melissa.
I wonder if they changed the time. I had friends that were just out there a couple weeks ago, and they were saying with the changes that they made to the ferry return schedule, I wonder if it's to align that at all, because I think the last ferry now leaves by 7. They've cut back, in half how many trips there are per day out there. But the early return now, I think maybe that's a contributor as well for them to have the mopeds returned.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it just seems like, they're having accidents, but we're attacking the wrong institution.
Yeah.
We're penalizing the moped rental company. It's their fault.
Yeah.
Because you rented these.
Moped control. It's like gun control.
But it is. If you're not familiar with something, it does take a while to get used to it. And, people could be rubbernecking and looking around while they're riding. There's a number of reasons, and a lot of it is just not being experienced.
I read somewhere that what was happening is that there's a lot of out-of-staters on Block Island this year.
Yeah.
And what they were doing is parents were literally dropping their kids off to be on vacation, right? Either in the parents' house or whatever it might be. So there's a lot more young people on the island than there usually are. Mm-hmm. And of course, with that, I think comes a certain amount of inexperience and immaturity, and I think they just do lots of stupid things. And unfortunately, it's ending up in some tragic moments.
Now, you can also rent bicycles on the island.
Mm-hmm.
Are they having the same kind of restrictions?
You don't hear that.
No, you don't.
I've brought my own bike over there, and it is when you're right in the in the thick of it in the harbor. There's a lot of traffic. You have to be careful. Once you go on the other side of the island, that's
free
over to the South Lighthouse and everything. It's a little more hilly. It's fine, but right in that immediate area where all the activity is, where all the stores are, it does get a little tricky.
Do people drive faster when they're in their cars on that side of the island, on the other side of the island, I wonder, just because there's no traffic? And the roads are pretty narrow, right?
Yeah.
And curvy.
So, there's no sidewalks. You just have the white lines.
Some of it, if you have a little sports car or something, it just, invites you to put your foot on it.
So, there's a lot of contributing factors. I'm not sure it's just mopeds.
But maybe now that the state troopers are over there,
it's probably a little more control.
Less people speeding on the other side of the island.
Yeah.
But I just think they're going after the wrong... I don't know what to do. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
But you seem to be penalizing the wrong people.
But you know what? If you go to Newport, you see these, and I don't know what the name of these little...
little 3-wheeled things?
Yeah, they look like
cars, little scooter
Fred
cars.
Flintstone or something. But you see those people out, and quite a few of them. If you park on Ocean Drive and you watch the traffic go by, there's a lot of them, and you don't hear of it in Newport.
Yeah.
No. Interesting. All right, we're going to take a break here. We're going to take another break. First break here on the Coffee and Program. So, Melissa, time for a second message from the St. Antoine community.
Yeah. So, the frequent question we've been getting asked lately is, from our families and our residents, is when do we feel like this pandemic spike and resurging cases is going to happen again? We participate in regular weekly calls with the state, so everyone's sort of been in tune with the data that's coming out from the state, and with all the unpredictable factors that lie around us, tropical weather storms, children returning to schools, reopening of the economy, all these variables combined have definitely made this a very challenging time to predict what lies ahead for the next few months. So we've just been doing our best to reassure our families that our team here has really been focusing on managing risk and educating the staff, educating the residents about behaviors inside our community but also outside the community. So we've been talking a lot about just managing that risk and staying vigilant in the workplace for the safety during this pandemic. So more or less this message for me this morning anyways is to assure our families that, although it's been summer and everyone is sort of relaxed with rules across the state, our team has definitely stayed pretty strict with our behaviors and are continuing to take this pandemic very seriously to protect the residents in our community. There's been some tough decisions along the way the last few months, sometimes canceling visitations that have been scheduled, disappointing some families. But we want to reassure our families it's always in the best interest of the population and making sure that we're keeping this virus outside. And any little fever, any little symptom that's happening, whether staff, resident, whoever it might be, shutting down is really a necessary step in order to protect everybody until we know for a fact that it's not COVID entering our building again. So I just wanted to share that message this morning because I know it's a very hard time for our families, and there's been a lot coming at them the last 6 months. I can't even believe it's been 6 months already. But as we enter the fall season, we're not letting our foot off the pedal, and we're just going to continue to keep operating as we have been with the best interest at heart of our residents. So.
Hey, Melissa, you have for visitors, for the folks that are in your care, you're doing that outside under tents, right?
So we have two different processes happening right now. At the Villa, the assisted living, we are still conducting visits outdoors in our open patio area because we have an advantage of a few things that the residents doesn't. So we have a very large outdoor gathering space with umbrellas over tables, but also a protective awning under our portico. So in the event that, let's say, drizzle happens or a threat of a storm happens, our visits can still occur. Next door started out with a tent. And unfortunately, in the first week that we opened to visits, there was a threat of severe thunder showers every single day that week, and we had to keep canceling. So they had to re-strategize their process because they didn't want to do that for the families. So they actually have a designated dining room area on the first floor that's easily accessible from the main lobby. So they're conducting the screening process of visitors in that lobby and escorting them right into the dining room. Yeah. It limits us on how many visits can take place at once. But we've just expanded the hours. We've modified the layout. Like, we've definitely had to switch gears and make it work, but it is working. And it is allowed by the state to have visits inside as long as they're supervised escort to that space. So it doesn't have to be outside necessarily. So every facility across the state has had some kind of different approach to this process. And even here at the Villa, we know the weather's going to start to get cold soon. We know that, it's getting darker earlier. We're going to have to probably move it inside eventually as well because our planning process right now is I don't foresee the visitation procedures that we have in place changing until after the holidays. I just don't see that changing based on the conversations we've had with the state. So for right now, that's how we're tackling it. But if there's others that are listening, every facility is handling their process differently. But that's how we're doing it right now.
Okay, Melissa, thank you. And more Coffee Ann's coming your way. We ask you to please stay tuned.
Here's an update from Wright's Dairy Farm in North Smithfield. Wright's Dairy Farm is operating with a no-contact curbside pickup. Your order can be placed online where you pick a specific date and time to pick it up. You can also visit wrightsdairyfarm.com and place your order online. But now, you can also order directly from your vehicle from the Wright's Dairy Farm parking lot, and they'll bring it right out to you. They're always stocked with their full line of dairy products, baked goods, and ice cream. And speaking of ice cream, the Wright's Dairy Farm ice cream trailer is now open. Stop by the Wright Scoop for a cup or a cone of their farmstead ice cream. Wright's Dairy Farm is open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wright's Dairy Farm on Woonsocket Hill Road in North Smithfield. Real cows, real food, real people, real good.
Local businesses are the key to success in our community. That's why Leo at Switzer Automotive of Woonsocket is a growing business, and Leo and his staff have been giving their expert mechanical services for many years. Switzer knows how important car maintenance is, and their quality service is always guaranteed. Trust the experts at Switzer. Remember, they provide complete foreign and domestic car and truck repairs. Client confidence is their most valuable product. Switzer Automotive, 309 Olo Street, Woonsocket. We salute you for your continuing success in our community. The Coffee Ann panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England. It is Coffee Ann. This is Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and Melissa Smith and Paul Willett. And Paul, time for our first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you. As you noted earlier in the show, it's at the end of August, and that's kind of unbelievable. It seems like we've been in some type of a time warp machine since February. But here we are. We're approaching the fall, and we do have a couple of things coming up that I want to mention. One is our golf tournament that's going to be happening on September 15th. We're very fortunate, as we were talking earlier, about the success of St. Antoine's. We also are in a position where we are pretty much sold out, although we did have a cancellation, so if someone's interested, we do have a spot for another foursome. And also we're still taking sponsorships. So it's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate. I think people are just itching to get out. If you're concerned about safety, Kirk Bray does a wonderful job in complying with all the latest guidelines, and you're still going to have a great experience. So that's happening on September 15th, and then the following Tuesday, on the 22nd, we're going to have a virtual, not a seminar, but a virtual conversation with Speaker Mattiello. Again, COVID has impacted a lot of things, and that includes normal activity at the State House, but the Speaker is going to give us an update on where Rhode Island is as it relates to that, the budget, etc., and that is going to be virtual. So if you're interested in either one of those events, you can give us a call at 334-1000. You can go online and register that way if you choose to do so, and that's at nrichamber.com. As always, if you have any questions about the events, you can give us a call that any one of the staff would be happy to talk to you.
Oh, okay, Paul. Thank you very much. All right, on to the depressing news.
Oh, God.
What?
The Republican
Is there any other kind?
The Republican convention?
No. That's not depressing. No, more violence in Wisconsin.
Oh, I know.
Last night.
People were killed last night, right?
Two people were killed last night.
Yeah.
A third person was shot, and they're expected to survive. And they don't know who's shooting who yet out there. All stems from the shooting of the motorist by the Kenosha.
Yeah, Kenosha.
Police department out there. And I'm afraid that people are looking at it and just saying, and all they hear is the white officers have shot another black motorist.
Well, that's the only part of the
seen-
video you've seen.
Yeah. You don't know what happened before.
You don't know what happened before.
But I have seen some of the video but it's not a lot. But the cops have their guns drawn and
7 shots,
and they're saying, but they're basically saying, stop. He's got something in his hand. They say it's a knife, but I'm not sure what it is. And he says he's going into his car to get something, and he walks around the front of his car to the driver's side. They're following him.
Yeah.
And don't do what you're about to do, and he opens the door and dives instantly, shoot him.
How in the world does that end up in a shooting? How does that end up in a shooting? I saw the same video you saw, right?
But
and I get it. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of emotion. Everybody's charged here. And even if he's got a knife, there's still 3 of them. Yank him by the T-shirt, horse collar him, throw him out of the car, and pounce on him. Or tase him. Or do something. Did you have to shoot him? In today's society, and I can't imagine that there's police officers out there who are thinking that I'm going to go out and I want to shoot a black guy. That's what my goal is.
Well,
today.
they're not thinking that. At least I don't hope.
Okay, I would hope not either.
thinking
But
that.
that's what the narrative is. The narrative is that's what police are doing. They are targeting people.
Okay, but we don't know what it's in his hand.
Correct.
Could be a weapon.
Could be.
So that's why they're not going in and horse collaring.
Could be a Snickers
like you're
bar.
saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if it's a Snickers bar, why is the guns are out? So,
Betty White.
I don't think it's that.
No.
But it's the same thing. If the police are telling you stop, don't walk away, don't open the car door.
Yep.
If you keep doing what they're telling you not to do, it doesn't really matter what color you are. They're still going to shoot you.
But why? Why do you have to be shot for that?
You have to. I don't
Is
know.
that
Because-
their practice and policy in Kenosha, Wisconsin? Is if somebody says no, I'm not going to do it, you shoot them?
But if they have what they consider a weapon in their hand,
True.
they may be going for another weapon.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So to stop
And
them and they're for their own safety,
Yep.
could they shoot him in the leg? Well, I guess they could.
And
as
listen,
opposed to
I
going
will-
for the
I am-
chest.
I
or the back.
admit that there's probably a whole bunch of other side to this story that nobody has seen yet, but nobody's going to care about that because perception is reality. There could be a million other things that led up to that situation and they were
Yes.
perfectly justified in doing what they're doing. But no matter what happens, the narrative is you had a white cop shoot a black guy.
Yeah,
That's the narrative.
And that's all we know, and that's what
That's
we
all
care,
you're gonna hear.
all we care about.
It's and I don't know if you saw the interview with the mother. She seemed to be
A little,
pretty
yes.
well educated,
Yeah.
and
Well
sitting there
spoken.
saying this please
And calling for no
this-
more violence.
Right.
Yeah.
This violence does not represent my son.
Yeah.
But you get people who they have all this energy and they feel that this is a way to release it, and it's not. I mean, if you really want to do something, band together and try to make a difference. But it doesn't have to be looting. It doesn't have to be burning and killing.
Even in the 60s, it wasn't like this. I mean, it was a lot of protests and a lot of marches. I don't recall it being looting and rioting and
Well, we
all
were
that
kids,
stuff.
Tim.
No, I understand, but from history, what
Yeah.
I've read, and they hadn't changed at the time, that seems to be, but it seems to be
A lot
very
faster
60s like.
today. I mean, you got social media and you have all these other influences. News
Yeah.
spreads in a matter of 2 seconds. And I think you summed it up. I mean, it's definitely knee-jerk reaction. So even though there's probably or possibly more to the story, all we needed to see was that video clip. And back in the 60s, you weren't privy to any of that until after the trial.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of a different angle, and I think that's what's firing people up. It's so knee-jerk reaction. Everything today is.
That was brought up yesterday. You know, if something like this happened 40 years ago, you saw it once on the news, then we moved on to something else.
Yeah.
Now it's
it's
look at
it's-
it
it's a hot-
constantly.
it's
We're
a
just
hot
going to keep
topic.
showing it,
A
and keep
million
showing it,
and a
and keep
half
showing it.
views on
Yeah.
YouTube, one of those
So we can
things.
just keep riling you up. So
Yeah.
The thing is, and I respect anyone who's willing to serve as a police officer, a fireman, and putting yourself in danger. But they do go through training, and it's a call that if you think they have a weapon, at some point it's you or them, and you have to make a decision in a split second.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in this case, it like Melissa said, now we social media and everything, it's repeated over and over on the news, and you see the footage. Now it's a hot topic. It's sort of like the moped accidents on Block Island. You hear about it because there's a lot of it, and I really I would not. Again, I commend all the police officers out there. And I personally, you wonder what you do in that situation.
True. Okay. We'll hear more about it, I'm sure, today. And I know Trump said we'll send in the National Guard if Wisconsin wants it. I don't know if they did that or not, but
I know my great nephew he goes to the University of Wisconsin and just arrived there this week.
Oh.
And
is the university near Kenosha? I have no idea.
I'm not.
So it's
I'm
an
not-
hour. I think
I'm
it's
not-
an hour south.
Yeah, then not too far.
Okay.
But still, I mean, I know his parents are probably freaking out because
Yeah.
you
Sure.
see the footage on the
I would
news.
be. Wouldn't be sleeping.
Go Badgers.
Yeah, they do pretty well, the Badgers.
Yes, they do in quite a few sports.
Yeah.
All right, a little closer to home because of what happened recently here in the city of Woonsocket, where the woman was run down.
Yeah.
In a car, in the boyfriend, allegedly in the boyfriend's car. The Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence they're reaffirming their call for a high-risk domestic violence court, so something separate from the regular courts, and they think this will stop the escalation of family violence that all too often ends tragically.
I wonder how they
Would
they do that?
Would it do that?
I don't know how would they do it.
I guess we arrest the person, and instead of going through this court over here, like
Yeah.
Superior Court or
Yep.
whatever, they get shuttled over to this other court.
Yep.
This domestic, high-risk domestic violence court.
faster
then,
process?
Then what?
Yeah, then what?
I don't know.
We have a restraining order, but the restraining orders, I mean, that's the problem.
Restraining order is a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop someone from doing what they feel they want to or have to do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's
Well, it's supposed to stop abuse from escalating. So this guy has a long sheet of domestic violence. So if he was arrested the first time, and they went to this domestic violence court, even he was, I don't know, incarcerated or whatever, then way back when, then this woman, Erica Belcourt, that was run over, would still be alive. That's the thinking behind this. If we stop it at the first instance,
isn't that a court issue more than it is anything else? It's a law issue.
But they want it to be this court issue. Quickly get them in front of a court that only deals in domestic violence and not everything else.
Yep.
So we can keep them off the streets longer or get them off the street faster. Would it work? I don't know.
So it's like an expedited process. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. It's a special court.
Yeah.
Only for domestic violence.
Oh my gosh! If there's a special court for every kind of offense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. Everybody would be coming forward. Well, now we need one for child abuse, and now we need one for
exactly.
You got a traffic court.
No, well, there is traffic court.
I know. Judge Caprio.
That's right. So,
well, I guess, regardless of what the designation of the court is, the person goes and there's a domestic violence case, put them in jail. Have more stringent
give the person
sentences.
Give the victim an opportunity to have some separation from that person without fear that they're going to violate a restraining order.
Yeah.
And maybe that cool down period gives everybody a chance to move on. Maybe
was it there? Did it say anything about there being a restraint order on him? Or?
No. Well, I'd have to look it up. But what I did hear was that in the other cases of the domestic violence, the charges are still pending. So that might be another issue that they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, he was arraigned, made bail, we let him out.
Yeah, then nothing happened.
And he's going to come to court 6 months from now or 8 months from now.
I do know in Massachusetts, in particular, they call it the Remy law, where the sportscaster Jerry Remy's son, who ended up killing his girlfriend. They will, if you have any plea for a restraint order, they issue them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that that from that perspective, they're a little more proactive. But again, it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop somebody from, breaking in and doing what the unthinkable.
Yeah. I don't know if this kind of court is legal. I don't know if it would help. It might. But I don't know if it'll go through. Well, people just say, well, we have our regular court system. So.
Well, you hope it works.
Is it a court without a jury? Like, I know a lot of court cases are delayed because of jury selection. Gosh, I just went through that for the first time in years this fall, and it was torturous and dragged out and never selected, so I was happy about that. But I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of the hang-up and delay in the general court system is because of that process, the vetting of a jury. So if it's a specialty court, is there no jury? Is it just...
it'd probably be like family court where, it's the judge's decision is final. So if there's an issue with whether it be custody or whatever, there's no jury involved with that.
The article does not say how that court would work. So maybe it is just a judge. All right, we're going to take another break on the Coffee and program. So, Paul, it's time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you. If you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, we thank you for putting your trust in what we can do for you. If you're not a member, I just want to tell you a little bit about us. We have... no doubt faced some challenging times. The past few months have been very challenging. The last thing we want to see is a business who did not reach out for help and have ended up closing their doors. We don't want to see that. We can help you. We have the resources available to get you through this. You may not be aware of some of the loans and grants that are available and the services that are available to you, but all indications are, all the experts are saying, this is the time to give a push and to advertise your business. Let people know that you're open. There's been a lot of reconfiguring out there. A lot of people have taken a look at their business model and changed. We can help you with all that stuff. We can provide educational opportunities. Most of them are virtual these days, but and a lot of the things that we do offer are free. So if you're looking to better your business, whether it be marketing, whether it be educating your employees. The Chamber of Commerce can help you in a number of ways. One of the biggest things we do, however, is advocate on your behalf. The lawmakers, it's been a strange year for them as well. You haven't heard too much coming out of the State House, but the Chamber is still active in talking to lawmakers and making sure that whatever is going to happen is in the best interest of business. So give us a call. 334-1000. You can visit our website, which we will be launching a new website this fall. We're excited about that. But you can go on the current website. We have a wealth of information and resources on there. That's nrichamber.com, and we'd be happy to talk with you.
All right, Paul, thanks. Time for a look at the forecast being brought to you by CVS. Today's going to be a sunny day today, and great temperatures, highs in the low 70s, and with a slight northwest wind. Tonight, mostly clear in the evening. It will become partly cloudy, low in the mid-50s. Thursday, cloudy, showers likely, high around 80 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny, high in the lower 80s. Saturday, showers again, with highs in the upper 70s. And currently outside, the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. With sunny skies, we have 66 degrees. CVS pharmacists have a tool designed to look for ways that may help lower your prescription costs. Visit CVS today. Savings vary. See store for details.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, what can you tell me about the insurance industry?
The industry changes so frequently due to many different factors, things like increased weather-related storms, the invention of smartphones and social media, which increase the amount of distracted drivers, even the cost of cars. Today, people are buying $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 cars with every kind of option you can think of. All these things impact the insurance industry, and it's important to keep current.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
When you want to know what's coming up in your town, there's news, as it's reported, and there are public notices. Public notices, also called legal ads, are placed by cities and towns in newspapers to alert you of important meetings that'll be coming up soon. At the Valley Breeze newspapers, you'll find public notices right up front, generally on page 4. They aren't tiny, hard-to-read ads in the back of the paper. In the Breeze, ads are easy to find and read. We want you to know. In addition, all public notices are placed online at valleybreeze.com, where they remain posted until the public meeting is passed. It's just the right thing to do. If you live in Cumberland, Lincoln, North Smithfield, or another local town, you'll find public notices in the Breeze every week and online at valleybreeze.com. Go to the homepage and click Public Notices. You'll find them all. Breeze public notices that will keep you informed, ahead of the crowd, in the paper and online. Thanks for noticing.
Hey, this is Jeff Ryan. And I'm Dave Koz. Join me this weekend as I welcome saxophonist Jeff Ryan. He's a new horn on the scene, and I'm looking forward to sharing his new music with you and getting to know him a bit better. Head over to my website, davekoz.com, for all the details, and be here this weekend for Jeff Ryan and yours truly on the Dave Koz Radio Show.
Hi, fans of smooth jazz. The Dave Koz Radio Show can only be heard on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM every Sunday, twice on Sundays, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and again 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., unless we're preempted by Boston Celtics or the Boston Bruins. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group. It's the Dave Koz Radio Show right here on
ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith, Paul Ouellette, and Tim Draper. Tim, time for a first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Joe, you're going to notice that we've got a new marketing campaign out there right now, and it's a little bit of a brand awareness issue. Time to refresh the Navigant Credit Union look. We haven't really changed the logo or anything. We tweaked it a little bit, brightened up some colors. But we have a new tagline. It's called "Our customers are our owners, and our owners are our customers." And some people have thought, well, credit unions are all about membership, and that's absolutely 100% correct. Once you get an account at the credit union, you become a member of the credit union. But for those people who aren't members, who haven't experienced what that means yet, they're really just kind of in the customer shopping mode. So we're appealing to people on that basis, right? You're a customer, but when you come to the credit union, you become an owner. And that, in and of itself, is an important concept to understand, because the business that you're doing business with, that you have a stake in, is involved in your community. We're involved in helping to make your financial life better. We're here to help you in any way that we can. And our allegiance, our loyalty is to you, the owners, because if our customers are mad, then our owners wouldn't be very happy either. So that's really the whole point about this, the ownership, and our customers are our owners and our owners are our customers. You'll see that talked a little bit about as we go forward here. Dave was actually a pioneer. He used to talk about ownership all the time, an ownership of the whole place, you know, and he's 100% right. Other financial institutions have investors. So they have people who invest in the institution, and there's an expected return on that investment. So people who run those institutions know that they have two masters they have to serve. They have to serve their customers, but they also have to serve their investors. So a lot of times they're more concerned, I think, in ways that we need to be concerned about our investors, not necessarily about our customers. But with Navigant and all credit, true of all credit unions, if you are a member of the credit union, if you have an account at the credit union, you are an owner of the credit union. We have one master. Our master is our customers.
Right.
So that's really the concept and the thought behind our owners, our customers, and our customers, our owners. So we got some new TV spots out there, a couple new radio spots that are going to be coming out. So if you see that, you're not sure what that means, listen here. I'll talk about it for the next few weeks until everybody understands what we're doing.
All right, very good. So up the road a piece in Blackstone, at the Blackstone Millville High School, they have their award-winning Blackstone Millville Regional High School Chargers Marching Band. And so with the opening up of schools again, and whether or not sports is going to happen, it's also that other side of what about the arts?
Yeah.
And is the marching band going to go on? And so the superintendent of the schools over there, Jason DeFalco, says, well, it is kind of.
Yeah.
And where they're not going to perform at any kind of place, outside place, or go on any trips. They I marked this down somewhere, and there it is. They're going to do it virtually.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's interesting.
It takes a little production.
They won't be traveling. They won't be participating in any live performances, but the band will participate in virtual critique run by the district's marching band. Kids are going to be... Well, they are going to get together, and I guess they'll have to film it from far away. They want the band members to stay 10 feet apart when they perform.
You're either blowing into these instruments, right? And not that anything's going to necessarily come out, but flutes, clarinets, saxophones. You can't sing because they're saying that's
well, it's a marching band, so there is no singing.
But I mean, even when you talk about arts, right? That's another thing you can't do. You can't sing.
So they plan on having... They want the kids that are going to be in the band to wear masks. Now, this is fine if you're playing the drums or the cymbals.
Yeah.
Little tough violin, saxophone.
Instrument,
yeah. But when you're... I don't know if they expect the kids to take the mask off when they're not playing at that time, but that could be only maybe for 5 seconds. So you'd have to be holding your instrument up. That's got to be kind of difficult. So
I just think everybody's trying something because they don't want to lose everything, and
we want to stop everything.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do something.
I hope it works out for them.
I do too.
It's tough when you talk about the arts and the career and technical education. You can't learn how to use the lathe or something like that online. I mean,
you got to touch it.
That's right. That's right.
My daughter was asking about that because there's a technical school up near we are, and she's like, I wonder what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and because she has friends that are going to start going there. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I'm involved with Davies High School, and you look at the machine shop. I mean, by nature, those machines are kind of far apart, and I think the classes themselves are smaller. So, but that is a challenge. Distance learning doesn't work for technical education.
No. You got to be shown what to do, and
that's right.
You have to touch this thing over here.
Yeah,
maybe they'll wear gloves. I don't know. So, I've actually noticed them when I bring my car in to be worked on. The mechanics are wearing gloves now.
Oh, gloves. Sometimes they even have the boots on their shoes. They clean your car when you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, I just had an oil change done, and it was like my car was hermetically sealed afterwards. Actually, I went down to Newport last week just to stay overnight, and I got a Groupon deal. And the hotel, the Newport Harbor Hotel, actually, they tape your door now. They put a thing on your door that says, this room has been cleaned and sanitized, and if this tape is broken, go downstairs because somebody's been in here. But when they're done, they tape it off, so it's like that room has been done.
And it's people are still reluctant to travel. But I was talking to someone yesterday. They had to fly out. Well, by choice, they flew out west, and said that the plane was half full. There was nobody around them. He said it's a great time to fly. So.
Well, yeah, there's not as many people. Yeah. That's true. And it's Southwest. I think it's Southwest. That said they're not selling the middle seat.
Yeah.
Now, if you're flying as a couple,
yeah,
you can sit next to each other.
Yeah.
Then the aisle seat is probably not is open, but they're just not selling all the seats.
American Airlines yesterday said they're going to lay off 19,000 people because the industry has not come back. I guess they couldn't lay anybody off until September 1st. That was the deal
because
with the
of the PPP.
Yeah, right. And now they're like, but the airline travel isn't coming back, and I wonder how long it'll take to come back. I mean, like the cruise industry is anher one. I'm like,
here's an indication. Warren Buffett dumped all his airline stocks.
Jeez.
Oh, that's a great thinking. Now, you talk about travel hasn't come back yet. Yes, Disney World is open, but I just saw a commercial last night. Universal has just started to say, okay, we have just opened.
Yeah, wow,
I said, Disney's been open for at least a month, if not longer, and you're just getting to it. So
Disney parks, Melissa, you can tell me because you're a Disney fan too. I think the Disney parks are half capacity, and you can only do one park a day, and you have to sign up ahead of time.
Yes.
No hopping. Yep.
And no characters roaming around, right? Yeah.
Characters, right. Yeah, I don't know. We're supposed to be, ours got canceled in May, supposed to be going back a year to the date, so next year, May, and I don't even know if that's going to happen, and even if it does, I'm not sure I even want to go. It's not going to feel, I mean, I'd be happy without the crowds, but it's already a very, tight schedule and a lot of planning, et cetera, but to now not have a hopping option.
You sound just like my wife when I explain this to her. What do you mean you can't go from park to park? You can't.
That's right.
And you got to make a reservation on which day you want to go. So if you're planning 6 months out, like now, okay, we're going to the Animal Kingdom on May 2nd. I hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Because that's when our reservation is.
Yeah.
And we're going no matter what.
And, the other piece, too, is there's no, from what I understand, it could have changed since I read the last article, but there's no magic hours or extended hours, which for a lot of people who stay on property,
no
that's
meal
what
plans.
You pay for. You pay a little more for the ease of the shuttle service. You pay a little more to have those extra hours. And so it's just costing a boatload more for us a year out, and I can't imagine, I think we'll probably still go, but it's just, it might be our last trip. I can't even imagine Disney ever rolling back rates. I think they're only going to continue to climb. But with Universal, I just wanted to say, I feel like they're pushing marketing right now, but I have some friends that went, over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, they posted pictures online that they were in Universal on the roller coasters. So I don't know if they're just hurting for business and they're trying to make it seem like they've reopened, but I think they've been open. Maybe not at full capacity, but I think for a couple months now they've been open.
Interesting. Okay.
Big push of commercials. That's all I've seen.
Universal, by the way, is a blast if no one's ever been there.
Never.
I have.
Fun. Yes, I agree.
It's
matter of fact, last time I went to Disney was 1975.
Wow.
Things have changed.
A little bit.
A lot.
Do they still have Space Mountain?
Yes, they do. That is still.
You'll be happy to know that's a classic.
That was a big ride back then.
Yes, and Thunder Mountain, my favorite. They still have that too. They better not change those two because those are.
I took my son to Disney World twice, and when he was younger, and both times Thunder Mountain was closed.
Oh, that's
for refurbishment.
That's disappointing.
So, but I always say to my daughter, when we brought her, she was able to ride it. I said, so she holds it over his head.
Nice.
I've ridden Thunder Mountain. You haven't.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Wow. So. We were on a rotation for a while there of every 4 years going to Disney, but we had a camper, a nice trailer, and so we would drive down and stay at Fort Wilderness. $60 a night to stay in the park and have use of all the facilities that you would if you stayed in a $500 a night hotel. So I was like, you know what? Camper was worth it.
Yes, and I'm sure those are booked.
Oh yeah, the sites
out in advance.
But the campsites are great. I mean, they're really nice, and you go right down to the beach and grab the launch and go to wherever you got to go to. I mean, it was really kind of nice.
Cool. It's time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union, Tim.
So, Joe, I just want to remind everybody that Navigant Credit Union has all of the banking services that you could possibly be looking for in a banking relationship. And if you're thinking about making a change for whatever reason, but you're just kind of not ready to pull the trigger, because we understand it's a big commitment when you do that, especially if you're trying to unwind your checking account. Come on into Navigant Credit Union, see Amanda and the team up at the Park Square branch, and give us a try. Just open up an account. Pick an account, open it up, see what that process is like, meet the staff. I think you'll find that that we are different in the way that we deliver our service. We try to be very high touch and responsive to our members, to our customers, to make sure that they know that they are important to us, and they are the reason that we are successful. And as such, the credit union will always try to be good to the communities in which those branches exist. So, Navigant Credit Union, 233-4700 or www.navigantcu.org.
All right, Tim, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. Stay tuned. There are so many great reasons to visit Missy's Family Restaurant. Here are the top 3. 1 is a great breakfast. Missy's will fill you up and get you ready for the day. 2 is a great lunch. Missy's is just the place to go for an affordable, tasty lunch. 3 is great portions. At Missy's, you'll love their big portions and big taste. Missy's Family Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Judy and the staff welcome you. And remember, please wear a face covering when entering Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street, Woonsocket.
The month-long sale at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles is going on right now. For the month of August, you can take 15% off anything in the store except gold and silver. The cases are full at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles. Come see vintage lamps, clocks, pottery, and more. There are many treasures to be discovered. Timeless Antiques and Collectibles is open Tuesday through Saturday at 10 in the morning. Please remember to wear your face coverings as you enter the store, and keep your social distancing as well. The month-long sale is going on right now. 15% off everything in the store except gold and silver at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles, 91 Main Street, Woonsocket. Frank and Tammy Irwin invite you to stop in today.
The Farmers Market is happening this and every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. until October 4th at Daniel's Farmstead in Blackstone. Quality produce, breads and pastries, fudge, natural meats, organic vegetables, and more will be available to you. Coming September 27th at Daniel's Farmstead is the Antique Tractor Truck and Classic Car Show. Kids love this. Guests need to remember COVID-19 guidelines and practice social distancing and wear a mask. We look forward to seeing you at Daniel's Farmstead, 286 Mendon Road, Blackstone. Be sure to follow Daniel's Farmstead Farmers Market on Facebook for the latest information, or contact Gary Smith at 774-573-0418 with any questions.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
And it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Paul Willett and Tim Draper. All right, it's good news.
Okay.
Oh,
if you're a beer drinker and a donut lover.
Oh no, not donut flavored beer.
They've combined 2 new beers are coming out that are perfect for donut lovers. Dunkin' and Boston's Harpoon Brewery announced this year's beer collaboration will feature 2 donut-infused beers. Yeah. There you go, Paul.
Oh, my God. What flavor?
Well, starting next month, people will be able to get their hands on Boston Cream Stout.
Oh.
And the Jelly Donut IPA.
Well, the Boston Cream Stout I could see being... That would be tasty if you like a stout beer like myself. I could see that being good.
But no on the Jelly Donut?
No.
All right. The company's also releasing, because we're coming into the fall, pumpkin spiced latte ale. All right.
No, I love Harpoon plain pumpkin. They're not going to mess with that, are they?
Well, it doesn't say what they're not going to do. They're just saying what they are doing. So maybe it'll be 2 different kinds. And for the coffee lovers, coffee porter. That's part of
that's become pretty popular.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some local brewers who do a coffee milk stout.
Okay.
And it's very good. You would think that it'd be a little overpowering and too sweet, but it's actually very good. Good breakfast beer.
Good breakfast beer.
Can you pour it on the Cheerios?
Yeah.
I like 2 eggs over easy, bacon, home fries, and a beer.
Sounds good.
Yes, Melissa.
Next week, we're going to start doing testing in the morning. Paul, you're going to want to come back next Wednesday.
Wednesday
All
morning, we're
right.
going to start testing.
We'll have the coffee
Island
stouts.
Bloody Marys, and we're going to do donut, I don't know, whatever it was called, stout, I don't know, samplings.
You're going to have to come back to the studio, though, Melissa, for that. Otherwise, it's just me and Joe.
Full disclosure, I'm on work time, and we have a policy of no consuming, so...
Oh, you're such a party pooper.
But it's
I am. So
it's
I
for
guess
science.
It's for science. Okay. As long as it's got a research component, I guess it's okay.
It was. We had that story a couple of days ago. I think it was either in England or Switzerland, and they were trying to test a hangover cure. So people actually had to come in and get drunk, and they had to drink for like 3 hours.
Oof.
And so and then they had to take whatever they were forming and then fall asleep and then wake up and see if they had a hangover, and they say it worked.
Wow.
And they didn't have a hangover when they woke up.
Yeah.
So
That's bad. That
more
promotes
testing,
heavy
but-
drinking.
Well, it might. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, there's for science. We need you to drink for 3 hours. Well, I don't know if it was continuously, but
sign here.
That's right. So I'm like, wow, that's
Probably gave you like the cheapest grade alcohol.
they didn't say what they were drinking. They didn't say if it was beer or wine or whiskey or anything like that.
You look at the creativity though. With brewing has become very popular.
Yes.
So some of the concoctions out there are winners and losers. But I remember there was a brewer in Pawtucket who for Valentine's Day. Infused chocolate and oysters, chocolate and oysters. I mean, both are considered aphrodisiacs, I guess. So he came out with this release around Valentine's Day, and strange combination, but it wasn't bad.
Tasted good. Well, I guess you had to like oysters to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Was it
a little sweet
heavy,
and salty? It was.
Heavy oyster flavor. All right, today's National Dog Day.
Yep.
Yes, it is. The day was
Happy Dog
created
Day,
in 2004 to celebrate all breeds while bringing awareness to the dogs across the country who still need a forever home. People looking to get a dog are encouraged to look at shelters or rescues to celebrate the day. Many people are posting photos of their dogs on social media with the hashtag National Dog Day. And I've actually seen photos today. Didn't realize it was National Dog Day. But speaking of Disney World, there's pictures of Pluto with another dog.
Nice.
So I'm like, isn't that sweet? So they bring their animals to Disney World. Isn't that nice?
It's beautiful.
I don't know if you got to pay extra for that.
Yeah. They have a dog. They have a kennel there at Disney World. I know that, but
yeah,
you can bring your dog down. You can't bring him in the park, but you can bring him to the kennel that's there. So you don't.
How
have
much?
To be, I don't know. I was never that brave to do that.
Probably more than $60 a night.
Probably more than $60 a night.
All right.
Sure, when you vacation, it's meant to be a vacation away from your dog.
Yes.
So,
well, yeah.
Well, some people, a dog's part of the family, so.
Yeah. They're needy sometimes.
They're not. I don't think they're going to like the ride on Space Mountain.
No.
Probably not.
Might freak them out a little.
Drive down the road, ears